I will be back in a moment, folks, to let you know about upcoming events, including DebateCon 6. Thanks, guys. We're backstage, and they can't hear or see us, but I just want to say thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thanks, sir. So, yeah, thank you. Please join now. I'm live. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
Muji.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Rashid, for
Thank you.
accepting. We appreciate that.
Thank
It's been a
you.
fun one.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
thank you, James, for hosting again. It's been an amazing opportunity to come on here. Some of my favorite debaters have debated on your platform, so I love it.
Thanks, brother. That means a lot. You guys have, it was a pleasure to host you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Take
You
care.
too. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. That's the, let me see, the link I'll put there. Let me go to to my channel to pin the link. Let me see. All right, now I'll pin the message. Hello, my dear sister, Miss Kay. I'm a bit disappointed. The debate turned to quite meaning from Quran and Hadith. Yes, they. Thank you, brother or sister. I don't know. Thank you. Unfortunately, they were just keeping uh, their. Oh, my dear brother, Mr. Tree. Salam Amashi, my brother.
Mr. Muji, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's good to see you back at the
Yeah,
debating table.
yeah, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah,
So,
so
Muji, I've got one question for you.
yes, please.
So, Sunnis make up about 85%. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
maybe.
Shias make up about 10 to 15%.
Yeah, yeah,
Together, they make up 99%.
maybe.
And then the rest of the ones, that's about 10 million because there's, well, say 10 or 20 million.
Mhm.
But now, not each of us Muslims in the other category agree with what you're saying. So my question to you is, why do you think Allah hasn't guided 99 point something percent of Muslims around the world in the same way that you are guided?
Sorry, sorry for that. Yeah, and I have said it also in the debate. I said it. I have said it many times as well that I'm guided because I have had this opportunity to educate myself. You know, to live in this time, talk to Brother Rashid if something I don't understand or he doesn't understand. We research. If I was living in the past, or if I was living in a village in Afghanistan or somewhere else, I would be also like among those 99%. Okay, so, and I said it is time people are waking up and we are spreading the peaceful and loving message of the Quran. Okay,
But why do you think it's taken 1400 years
I
for
said
Allah to get this
yes,
message across, but
yeah, brother,
also for
yeah,
99% of
yeah,
Muslims to
yeah.
be completely misguided? It just seems like Allah has not
No, no.
exactly done what he needed to do to preserve his religion.
Okay,
If they
look.
say that Christianity was lost for 600 years, it
Mhm.
seems like Islam, by your definition, was lost for 1400 years.
Okay, in reality, okay, if we want to think like that, even Christianity in Renaissance time, like let me see, it was 100 or 200 years ago in Europe, was lost. The people were doing a lot of terrible things under the name of Christianity, or even when they invaded America. Okay, so yes, my mother is illiterate, and she just follow what the scholars would say. But I have educated myself. I have had this opportunity. So it's not Islam's fault. It was the world's humanity hadn't, how do you say it, developed. They
Well,
haven't. They were not educated yet. Yes.
well, but that's what I'm saying. After 200 years, there may be some Christians that did the wrong things. But
Mhm,
Christianity as a belief system was never in question. Whereas
mhm.
today, after 1400 years after Islam started, we still have 99% of Muslims following Shia and Sunni Islam that you claim are false.
No, I don't claim their interpretation, and not all of them. There are Sunni Muslims, Shias as well, which I follow an organization who is a Shia organization, but their interpretation is very good. They are, you know, and I support them as well. And Muslims, non-Muslims, even atheists, Marxists, they support this organization and their interpretation of Islam. Okay,
But
so we are, yes, we are in minority, but, and I said, if very soon we get in, yes, Ms. K say, MEK, very soon we will get the power in Iran, for example, and then we spread it everywhere else. We don't have the mean, we don't have the voice, we don't have the tool yet, okay?
but you would say that those Sunnis and Shias, the ones that you said well are closer to what you believe in, those ones would also be misguided because those ones would also be believing in hadith that you would be rejecting. So again, my point stands that throughout the 1400-year history, there's always been almost completely the whole ummah has always wrongly believed in Islam, according to what you said this evening.
Yeah. And I said, of course, they, they, it was because they were uneducated, they were illiterate, yes,
So would you
illiterate.
say that Allah has misguided Muslims for
No,
1400 years?
Allah, no. Allah didn't. These people, I said, because of this jungle system, a bunch of scholars, they they abused religion, like in Christianity as well, and other religion. They abused religion for their own interests. Okay, so
Well, but
this is why it is not Islam. It's not the Quran. These people have been, misguiding people, not
but
Quran.
but then the thing is, if no one has understood the Quran correctly for 1400 years, there's been almost 1400 years of just human civilization lost, which means the Quran
No,
itself had no point for 1400 years.
no. The thing is that. Uh, for example, and I said that Islam has done, even though people haven't understood it very well, but it has done a lot of good things. For example, I said uh, burying their daughters alive, stop that. Like in Iran, in Persia, uh, education belonged only to upper class, and lower class couldn't educate themselves. After Islam came, everybody could educate themselves, and we saw a lot of scientists like Ibn Sina and others, poets and so on, because lower class also got the opportunity to study. All right, so it has done a lot of good impact as well. Brother
But
Rashid is here. Yes. Salaam alaikum, Brother Rashid. How are you, inshallah?
وعليكم السلام ورحمة
Thank you
الله.
for thank you for being here and with me there as well.
hey, Rashid, I've got a question for you that I've been hoping Muji would ask you for a very long time. Is it okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Go ahead and ask.
Okay, sure. So I've got two questions. One is where's Jesus? Or two, how do you reconcile Allah's contradictory attributes? Which one would you like to answer?
I could start with the one you said, where is Jesus, right?
Yes, because I can't remember the verse. It's been a while since I've been studying the scripture, but basically it says Jesus raised Allah to himself. So in
Raised
that
himself.
in that statement, you would see either Allah is transcending creation and Jesus has been raised to transcend creation. Or you can say Allah enters creation, therefore Jesus can be of Allah.
Well, I mean, Jesus died, and then Allah raised his soul just as he raises everybody that dies to himself.
What do you mean to himself?
Well, I mean, sometimes the Quran speaks in locational language, use locational language. So sometimes when it says before him, or you know, or with him, or something like that, so one might, of course, try to philosophize, their way through that. But I think that it's just used as a way for us to understand, just that God raised Jesus to himself.
Well, would you say this to himself as in heaven, or where would you say this location is?
No, I don't think that he's in heaven. Not in heaven, in paradise, in that sense. But I believe that when Allah, or when God takes our souls, that we are put to death, and then we are raised. Our souls are raised, and then they are placed in this stationary place where, for example, we don't know what is happening in the world, or we're just unaware of what is going on. We're not conscious anymore. And then when the day of judgment comes, then our souls will reunite with the new bodies that God will create for us. That's what I think.
That's
So
fine, but the
is in
verse does say raised to himself. And
yes,
that is my
yes.
question here, because later in the Quran, it also says that nothing is like Allah, which means you can't equate anything to Allah
Yeah.
unless you're saying something can be equated to Allah metaphorically.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I say that sometimes that the Quran uses language in a certain way so that we can understand. So sometimes it might use locational languages.
Yeah, so like metaphors. So what
Like,
I'm saying is when you're equating Allah metaphorically with wherever Jesus might be in creation.
no, I don't think I can't tell you exactly where he is, just as I can't tell you where my father that passed away is. You
Okay,
understand?
so when the Quran says it's to himself, he doesn't mean to
So,
himself.
yeah, to himself, it just means that he to I can't say it any better than he raised him to himself, like, because I can't give you a location.
No,
Uh,
I understand. I'm just trying to understand what's actually going on here because again,
yeah, it's
is
like
it to himself or is it somewhere but it's not to himself?
no, I mean, when we say to himself, that doesn't mean that he's besides God. I don't think that means that he's besides God or something. I believe that maybe there is some place or some realm in which where God raises the souls. Okay.
Yeah, but
And
then if you say to
the
himself, you're
spirits.
equating this place where he get raised to himself.
Yeah.
So again, you're equating or you're basically assigning partners to Allah, which is shirk.
No, not that wouldn't be a shirk. No, that wouldn't qualify.
Well, you're equating something to Allah, but you're also saying to himself.
Not if,
But if you say
no,
to himself means something else, then you're saying something else is related to himself.
no, I'm not saying he's because you're thinking of it as a locational. Again, you're still thinking of it as a location. God is in here, and then there is something beside him. That's how you're seeing it. But I'm just saying that sometimes God uses language like that, not necessarily that that's the reality of the situation. That because that's how we would understand it. If he were to explain it or to say it in a different way, we might not be able to grasp it. But he chooses to use this kind of languages, but he still tells us that there is nothing like him. So we have to reconcile between those two statements. And we
I
understand,
mean,
get it, that when he says that he raised him to himself, that we just said Jesus is like if I said Jesus is in the presence of God.
yeah,
Okay,
even in the presence of God is still problematic. I just think
yeah,
that
that's the
if
thing.
the
That's
Quran wanted to avoid this problem, it could have just said to heaven or
no, we
to
can't
the.
say to heaven, because if you say to heaven, then that would mean he's in paradise.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Jesus is in paradise
Yeah,
according to the Quran, isn't it?
but that's not true though. We don't believe that. It's not the case. He's not there. So why would he say he's in heaven if he's not in heaven?
Yeah, well, if you say to himself, then I mean, where else would he be except
But
possibly heaven?
we don't believe that to himself means heaven.
Mr.
Okay.
Tree,
And that's why I'm simply asking. It's fine. We can move on to the next topic.
Mr. Tree,
Because,
Mr. Tree,
hey,
Miss
Majid.
Case, Miss Case, Tree, why won't you make a debate on the you and
Uh,
Martin versus Mujib Rashid?
I prefer to keep my identity private, but thank you, Majid. It
Yeah,
was great
yeah,
meeting you in person, so I'm happy to reveal my identity to you.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
No, I personally,
Rashid,
she's
What was
joking.
the other question?
She's kidding with you.
no
Yes,
worries. I'll move on to the next question. So,
Yeah. Sure.
in Islam, Allah's attributes are the vengeance, is also merciful, is forgiving, and is loving. So, like the guy mentioned on screen this evening, he basically brought up like a different version of my question.
Mm.
My question is God infinite? If he is infinite, then if he is infinite, one of his attributes, he cannot contradict that attribute because then it's no longer absolute / infinite in the attribute. So if Allah is Al-Muntaqim, or Al-Muntaqim, I don't know how you pronounce it, vengeance, if he is perfectly vengeful, then he cannot be merciful, because if he is merciful, that contradicts and takes away from his absolute vengeance. Now, in Christianity, we have a way to solve this. Jesus Christ, like the guy mentioned, paid up price on the sins. Justice was fulfilled. Vengeance is not an attribute of a Christian God, but justice is. Vengeance is carried out because of justice. Justice fulfilled. There's every single attribute of God in Christianity in conjunction, and it's still absolute and perfect. Now, my question is, in Islam, how do you reconcile absolute mercifulness and absolute vengeance?
Okay, what do you mean by absolute?
Well, if God is to be God, God is going to be absolute because God is definitionally absolute, right? Do you
Yeah,
agree?
but what do you mean by the term absolute?
Or there can be no deficiency.
Okay, so we're talking about perfectly merciful, or is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. So
Okay.
my question is, let's just say you have one human being in all of existence, and
Mhm.
this one human being has sinned. What is God going to do?
Well, he could decide to either forgive, depending on what the human being does after the sin, or he could decide to punish.
So my question then becomes, if he is merciful to that person,
Yeah.
is he carrying out perfect justice or perfect vengeance?
Um, if he's merciful towards that servant,
Yes.
yes, he would be. He wouldn't be, again. I wouldn't use the word perfect, but I would say he is merciful if he's to forgive that servant.
No, that's fine, but is he carrying out any vengeance?
And in that case, in that situation, no.
And that's what I'm saying. God, his attributes need to be actualized at all
Yeah,
times. He can't be passive because that reaches issues of passive potency as discussed by many of the early philosophers.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is if God is deficient in any of his attributes because it's contradicting another attribute, that means that God in himself, in his concept, cannot be true because that God is deficient,
Because
therefore not meeting definitionally God.
yeah, but you are assuming that because God is not meeting out a particular kind of thing, though having that attribute, that means that He is not. You understand what I'm
Well,
saying?
well,
They
but
just
that's the thing. Like Allah
meeting
claims
out.
99 names. He does.
Yeah,
He claims this. We don't claim this about him. He
he-
states that he is the most whatever. Now, what I'm saying is, whatever he claims about himself, he needs to be absolutely these things. He cannot be deficient. Otherwise, you have a deficient God.
that's not deficiency. I mean, there's no deficiency of absolute. You can't say, okay, this is the maximum limit of mercy, okay, and lower than that, that's deficiency. Okay,
So,
when God decides to forgive, it's not like, okay, I'm going to show mercy 90% to that person. I'm going to show mercy 80% here. I'm going to show mercy 70%. No, it doesn't have those kinds of qualifiers. It's just mercy or it's not mercy. That's it. It's not a perfect or imperfect. No, it's just mercy.
so what you're saying is your God's attributes are passive in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, there again, God's attributes, and sometimes, let's say, um, they are relational, if I can say that. For example, let's play a small game. Okay, would God still be merciful if, or would God still carry out mercy if there is nothing to show mercy to?
So in Christianity, we believe that God is love. Mercy attributes come from love. Therefore, we don't have this question that you're answering.
Okay, would God still love, or would He still be love if there is nothing, or would He still love if there is nothing to love?
So within God itself, in the triune concept, there is Father, Son, Holy Spirit, there is love between them.
Okay, so they would just love within themselves,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Okay.
but
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
thing. In Islam,
yeah.
there's no reason for Allah to inherently create because there's no relational attribute within the concept of Allah. Allah
No,
being a
I just
Unitarian
told you.
being,
But I
there is
just
nothing else other than Allah, which means before creation, Allah has no deficiency of other than Himself. Whereas, I'm not sorry, take away deficiency. But
yeah, but
within a Christian God, that God is relational between a triune being. But in Allah being a oneness God, there's no relational aspect.
yeah, but I mean, as I was saying before, that Allah's attributes, okay, they can be relational. If you look at how they are portrayed within the Quran, if they can be relational. As I gave you the example within the Quran, if there is uh, nothing to show mercy to, then you wouldn't, of course, attribute that you wouldn't say that God is showing mercy, because there is nothing to show mercy to.
So would you say that Allah today has a attribute of being merciful?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, God meets out mercy, because there are certain attributes that are, let's say, what's the word? Um, they are they are core to God's being, and then there are certain attributes which are not.
So would you also say that Allah is relational?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
Okay, so my question to you is, was Allah before creation relational and was He merciful?
I would say that he. No, I wouldn't say he was merciful. No,
So you're saying Allah changes?
no,
Well, He has an attribute now that He had not had before.
no. The thing is that we say that Allah is capable. Okay, that's the thing that we say, is that Allah is Al Qadir. He is capable.
No,
So
I
there,
understand.
so when you put in, so mercy would fall under that.
But
He's
that's the thing.
capable of showing mercy. He is.
That's passive potency, first of all. But second of all, this change indicates a
Yeah,
change
but
within Allah's being.
I just gave you a core that is two God's being, is the all capable. That's a
Yeah, he is
core.
passive, but that's passive. If he wasn't merciful before, he was passive in his mercy, whereas
No,
now he is active. But what I'm saying is,
yeah, but that doesn't mean that he's deficient, or
well,
that there's a
but
deficiency there.
here's the thing: this implies a change within Allah.
No, it doesn't.
Well, that's the thing. If he had an attribute that was passive but is now active, that's a
Okay,
change within the essence of Allah.
no, it's not a change.
So if you are not something and now you are that something, is that not a change?
No, I said that if I, for example, if God obviously knew what mercy is and all that stuff, okay, let's try to think, maybe just this is outside of the Quran. I would assume that God knew what mercy is and what love is and all those things, what those things are that He imbued within His creation. He knows what those things are. So the word that we would use is that He is all capable, but we would not attribute the mercy as in of itself, as in absolute, how to say, separate from the capability. We would not put it as a separate thing onto Him.
Well, I would just argue this. So my knowledge of something does mean that I am that thing. The second thing is, before he didn't have his attribute, now he does have it. So there again, it's implying passivity. Now it's active, which means there's a change within Allah.
You can see it that way, and that's your prerogative, but
That's
I
fine.
don't see it that
But
way.
here's a problem. If Allah changes, was he perfect before or was he perfect now?
You're asking someone who doesn't believe that Allah changed. So
Well,
I
but
can't answer
that's,
that.
I'm trying to understand what you believe because first he told me he didn't have his attributes. Now he
Yeah, I
does.
didn't say He didn't have this attribute. I said that this attribute was there under the all capability, because He is all capable. So He knew what it is, He knew what it entails, all that stuff was there, but you can't separate it, and then you couldn't separate it at the time and then say, okay, well, we are putting mercy with God as a separate thing. I would assume that because he was all capable, that he's capable of showing mercy. He just wasn't showing it.
Okay, but like right now, is that an attribute of his?
I believe so.
Right now it is.
I mean, I would say that it is. I would still put it under, all capable, as because it's not a core separate attribute. It just falls under it.
So these are not attributes of Allah, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that these are not core. Like, for example, that they would fall under the all capable.
So what are Allah's attributes?
Well, they are the ones that I would say it depends if you're saying the ones that are core to his existence or the ones that are not. Like, for example, vengefulness. That's not core to he's capable of being vengeful, but that doesn't mean that that's a separate thing. For
But when he
itself.
becomes vengeful, then there's implying a change within Allah himself. Or when you say he is exercising, when he is exercising his capability goes from passivity to activity, which means there's a change again within the essence of Allah.
No, in certain cases, it's just Allah doing something and not doing something. But that doesn't imply change. That would be the same thing if I said, okay, well, since God created, that means that he changed. No, he didn't change. Just because he created something was there before, now it's not there anymore, or something is there now, but it was not there before. Does that mean that God changed? No.
So all what you're saying essentially is that Allah is capability. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Allah is all capable, yeah.
But that's his core attribute.
Yes, I would define that as a core attribute.
Sure.
Like, for example, oneness, I would say that is also a core attribute. Oneness.
So if that's Allah's core attribute, what makes you believe that Allah is not evil?
What makes me believe that Allah is not evil? Because I would say outside of revelation or within revelation?
Anything, it's up to you.
Okay, within revelation, I would argue that it's not that is not evil because of what I see in revelation. That's the first thing, and also what I witness within myself and within other people as well. I don't think that a God intending evil would create this world.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, you believe that Allah, his words got changed. Now, what I'm saying is you could have
I
an
didn't
evil
say that.
being. Hold on. This is what Muslims believe about the Bible, about the Torah and the Injil. Now, what I'm saying is you could have an evil being that claims to be God, that masquerades as God, and that does these good things, but has an evil, like, intention behind it all. Is that a
But
possibility?
I don't believe that God's words have been changed.
Okay, but is that possible? You don't believe that the Injil and the Gospels mean change?
No.
Okay, that's fine. We'll get to it. But my
All
question
right.
is it possible that Allah may be evil?
Can
Is
I?
it possible that Allah may be evil? No.
Can
But
I?
again, you're not giving evidence. You're just giving your thoughts
Yeah.
and your belief. I'm
Um,
asking for empirical evidence because
No,
if
you're asking me. You're not
yeah,
asking like somebody else. You're asking me about my beliefs, right?
yeah, but you're simply saying that Allah's core attribute is capability. What I'm saying is He is capable of being evil, right?
No. Okay. Okay. How would you define evil in this case?
Well, evil would be basically just doing bad things. How do you define bad
What is
things?
that? What is
However,
that?
imagine
What-
someone's deceitful, right? Just keep that in mind. I would say that Allah could be deceitful because He is capable. Now, what I'm saying is, what stops Allah from being a deceitful being?
What stops Allah from being a deceitful being?
Yes.
Because
Like you,
it's not. What were you saying?
no, it's fine. You're saying.
No, I was saying that from what I understand of the Quran, no, it's not possible for Allah to be capable to be a deceiver, or it's not. It's because you're asking me and I'm answering outside from the Quran. That's why I asked you before. Do you want an answer from the Quran? So that's why I'm answering from the Quran.
That's
It's
okay.
Can I
not.
say something? Can I
My
say something?
point. Just
Yeah.
1 second, Reggie, just 1 second.
Yeah.
So my point is, even the Quran itself could be a deceit from a deceitful being. So sometimes deceitful beings would have some good that they show to get those people to trust him before we deceive. What I'm saying is, if you say Allah is simply just, he is just capability, by definition, then he also has capability to be a deceitful
I
being.
didn't say
That's
just.
what I'm saying.
I didn't say his just capability. I said that's one of his core, but there are others.
Earlier,
Like,
you said there's one core capability, one
no, no,
core
no, no.
attribute in
I
this
said
capability.
mercy. I said mercy falls under capability. I said that, but I did not. I also said, for example, oneness. I also said that. I said oneness, for example, is also a core capability.
Okay, but that's the thing, oneness. But
Yeah.
you're saying oneness doesn't stop him from being a deceitful being.
No, but again, I'm not tying those two together. I didn't say that oneness means he's. I was answering the question because you were saying that I
I
only
understand.
said he was all capable, but that's not what I said.
I understand, but none of his core attributes, what you're giving me, stop Allah from being a deceitful being. Now, what I'm saying is in Christianity, his attributes are he is good, he is love, he is these things. You simply tell me, no, these things come about because of his capability.
No, I'm saying
What I'm saying is,
when you
God's
say
core attributes have to be reliant or have to be in a particular way
when you
for
say
other attributes to come about. Because if it's just capability, he could have evil things like deceit.
again,
Sorry,
I say
can I
just
say,
when you're saying
brother,
that
yeah,
what
brother Rashid. Yeah, sorry. I have to say that it's getting late now, 11:30, and I was thinking if we can continue this next weekend, next Saturday.
All
Yeah,
right, thank you, Moji. Thank you,
yeah.
Rashid.
Sorry, it's 11:30, and I thought that we finish on MDD earlier so that we can continue here. And for those who join now, I appreciate it very much that you joined. But unfortunately, it's now 11:26 here in Sweden, yeah, and we have to get ready for sleep. So we can continue this next Saturday, if that's okay.
City, if you want to have this discussion tomorrow, I can also do that if you have time. If you want.
Mr. Tree, yeah, Mr. Tree.
Tomorrow I'll be at church, so don't worry about me. I'm good. It
All
was
right.
good talking to you.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, you too.
We can, yeah, we can do it next Saturday if you both would like, yeah. All right, yeah. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Tree, Brother Rashid. Once again, thank you, my brother. And we maybe go through the debate next weekend, next Saturday. We will, yes, check it a little bit and comment on it. All right, if you can. I appreciate it very much. Yeah. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. All right. Brother Mr. Tree and Rashid. Thank you. Have a nice day. And everybody else. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. God bless.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
Good
God
evening.
bless. Yeah, God bless you all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Brother Rashid. Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's